This thing was just announced, the Lenovo Legion Go S, and what makes it so special is that there's a version of this device that was developed in partnership with Valve so that it would have SteamOS out of the box, just like a Steam Deck. And this is the thing that I've been waiting for so long. Over the past couple of years, we've had so much good handheld hardware come out, right? I've reviewed a lot of it, but they all run Windows. So if you're not comfortable with Windows on a handheld gaming device, there's just no interest in these products. There's just not good devices because the operating system can be so frustrating to work with when it comes to a handheld device. But SteamOS solves all of it. And this is like the pure Linux-based SteamOS right from Lord Gaben himself. So I'm very excited. Now this version here, the white colored one, runs Windows, but there's a grayish colored one that runs SteamOS. Just like the Steam Deck, except this device gets more capable hardware with the new Z2 series chip and an 8-inch screen at 120 Hz, but also still comes in a very competitive price at $499. Now the unit that I have here is a pre-production sample of the Windows version with the white shell. The SteamOS version isn't quite ready yet, but from what I can tell, the core hardware is the same between the two devices. It's just a difference in operating system and I guess support because it's a proper endeavor with Valve. So all of the updates and software tweaks that Valve does onto SteamOS comes here as well. So a quick look at the hardware. This is a little bit thicker of a device compared to the Steam Deck. So if you just look at them side by side, the thickness of the actual main unit is a little bit thicker on the new Legion Go S, but in terms of just how it holds, they're very similar. It's hard to kind of describe this stuff over a video, but if you'll notice the curves on the back curves on this thing, when you grip the Steam Deck, it feels like this feels awesome. The ergonomics of this device has always been so good because of that big curvature on the back as it goes in. And you can pull that off on a thinner device like this, but on the thicker Legion Go S, the curvature isn't as pronounced, but this still feels like a very ergonomic device. I really like it. I also like the white color. The SteamOS version is that gray color like I mentioned before. And when I pulled this out of the box, I was like, man, this looks nicer than the Legion Go. Aesthetics aside, the sticks use magnetic Hall sensors, so these will probably be a little bit more durable than the stock sticks on the Steam Deck. And you also get to tweak the colors and stuff in software, if that's your speed. The D-pad, I don't know. This was strange to me. I didn't love the feel of this in fighting games. I don't think this is final hardware, so I'm not going to pass judgment on it yet. The buttons feel nice. These are kind of your standard kind of Xbox style buttons. But beneath the right stick, you'll see this square looking thing. Now when I first pulled this out of the box, I thought that this was a fingerprint sensor, but it turns out it's a very small trackpad, just like the bigger brother Legion Go full-size version. It's a trackpad, except it's a tiny square. And you would think that on a 1 centimeter square trackpad, it's got to be a terrible experience, right? It's not bad. I mean, you're not winning StarCraft tournaments with this thing, but it is way better than I would have expected for something so small. And it's very useful for games and user interfaces that just do better with some kind of mouse control like this. It does not double as a fingerprint sensor. As much as it looks like one, it just is not that, unfortunately. Now the performance on this device could not be tested properly. It's an early pre-production unit. It is running one of AMD's new Z2 series chips, but this is an entry-level chip running RDNA 2 graphics and a Zen 3 Plus CPU. So these are some of the frame rates I was getting. Keep in mind, not final hardware, and all these tests were done in Windows, but I'm pretty confident that this will outperform the 2-year-old Steam Deck. Fan noise is quiet, and you do get very granular control, at least in the Windows version of it. The battery in this system is a 55 watt-hour battery, so it's not particularly big. I'm not expecting crazy long battery life on the system, mostly because it has a fairly large screen. An 8-inch panel, 120 Hz, this can suck juice up pretty quickly, but you do get a really nice looking panel with good color gamut. On the top of the device, you get 2 USB-C, the micro SD slots on the bottom, and then on the back, you get lockable triggers. So the left and right can be switched between a full press down for racing games. You get kind of granular control of your throttle, or you can just have it as a quick button. You also see the 2 grills, but if you pop off that back panel, it's only a single fan. It's a big fan, which I like to see, but it's not a dual fan system. You do get removable storage, but it uses one of the short NVMe's. Now this device here with its holographic Microsoft sticker is not particularly interesting to me just because of its price point. It's good hardware, it's just that for $730, there's a lot of competition and you can get a lot of great devices at that price. But for $500, the SteamOS machine that is just super cool. I actually don't think that they could have sold it at that price unless Valve was somehow subsidizing this whole project. Like, keep in mind, Valve makes 30% off of every game that's sold, right? So for them to just, here's another system that is out there. Now any game you buy is just, we're collecting 30%. Absolutely. Why wouldn't there be more of these things out there? This is the first, but I just see this opening up a path. Dude, now that I'm thinking about this, there's gonna be desktop consoles. Can you imagine the Steam Cube, like a square thing, and it's running, Strix Halo, like the newer AMD chip that's coming out? That would be sick. It's gonna happen because the user experience with SteamOS is so good, it's so console-like, yet you have all of the games. Well, not all of them, but tons of games. And the back library, right? That's the best thing about Steam. All the games that you've ever purchased ever from 15 years ago, it all runs on that same, the same ecosystem. I love it. I love everything about this. I think the consumers win. I think Valve wins. It's awesome. What do you think?